On October 13, 2015, the Dutch air safety authorities published an official report on the cause of the MH17 crash in eastern Ukraine. The Malaysian Airlines Boeing 777 was on its way from Ams-terdam to Kuala Lumpur when it crashed in the Donbass area in Ukraine. All 298 passengers on board were killed. The passenger jet MH17 was supposedly shot down by a Russian-produced Type Buk air defense missile. The report leaves the question open of who was responsible, whether the Ukrainian army, pro-Russian separatists, or even the Russians. The Buk missile was produced by Russia, yet according to official sources, the Ukrainian army has these systems in their stock as well. The Russian army retired these several years ago. It could hardly have been different. The mainstream Western media seemed to have a prefabricated opinion. Already the universally conform headlines, for instance, I quote, MH17 shot down by Buk missile from eastern Ukraine, imply unmistakably that the Boeing must have been shot down by pro-Russian separatists. In spite of this, Dutch journalist Joost Niemöller questions the objectivity of the final report. Niemöller is author of the book MH17, The Cover-Up Deal. He says that when we look at it closely, the report is deficient. If the report were objective, then according to Niemöller, the pro and contra of various crash scenarios would have been analyzed. But here, only one scenario was observed, and that is that the passenger jet was shot down by a Buk missile. The other scenario, which in his opinion was more important, namely that it was shot down by a Ukrainian military jet, was practically ignored. In our broadcast from July 2015, KlaTV reported in detail about the evidence gathered by two German experts for military technology and aviation. They had proved without a doubt that the MH17 was not shot down by a Buk missile, but by a Ukrainian fighter jet. Niemöller also doubts the objectivity of the Dutch investigation because of the fact that in reality it is a Dutch-Ukrainian investigation, and that is the real problem. This cannot be called an independent investigation, since the Ukraine is itself a war party, according to Niemöller. Also, the Russian producer of the Buk was not invited to support in the investigation. The following is another example of how Western mass media do not take things so exactly concerning their sources. Swiss National TV and Radio, SRF, posted on October 14th on their website, "There is no straightforward answer for who shot down the MH17, only strong indications." These had been delivered by a former bookkeeper. And with this, SRF meant Elliot Higgins. Mr. Higgins is one of the founders of the research network, Bellingcat. He collects YouTube videos and photos from social networks, analyzing every detail. Higgins also examined Russian satellite photos and came to the conclusion that these were falsified. Amongst other things, a Ukrainian fighter jet could be seen shooting down the passenger jet MH17 on the Russian satellite pictures. How professional and reliable is the Bellingcat research, which nearly all the Western mainstream media rely on? Even the Secret Service knocks on Elliot's door for information, according to SRF. The independent television station RT looked into this issue and gave a platform to primarily Western voices. The majority of RT's 2,000 employees worldwide are non-Russian journalists. According to Spiegel Online, from the 14th of August 2013, RT has more viewers in the major U.S. cities than any other foreign station. On YouTube, they were the first channel ever to break the record of 1 billion video downloads. Watch the following RT broadcast from October 10th, 2015, where they look into who is behind the research of Bellingcat and present the counter voices.
Elsewhere, after more than a year of work, the Dutch Safety Board will publish an official report into the cause of the crash of flight MH17 in eastern Ukraine. But with the release only a week away, a website calling itself a resource for citizen investigative journalists is to publish its own findings today. Anastasia Cherkina looks at what this information is based on.
What does it take to shape public opinion and be a newsmaker over the conflict in Ukraine, finding answers and solutions which have eluded even the brightest political minds? Could a cozy couch and a laptop with internet access to endless social media posts be enough to paint the full picture? Before any official investigation into the tragedy of flight MH17 is complete, the website of one citizen journalist claims to have connected the dots. Bellingcat is run by Elliot Higgins, a 36-year-old laid-off office worker. He initially gained a web following and attention from the mainstream media by analyzing arms in the Syrian conflict, despite having no experience in that field or any higher education for that matter. He even confessed that what he knew about weapons came from Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo.
I didn't know much about weapons. I didn't know any Arabic. I didn't know much about Syria. What I had was a tremendous amount of information online.
Among Bellingcat's favorite tools are YouTube and Google Earth, something Higgins used to back his claim that Russia faked satellite images to blame the Ukrainian army for the MH17 crash. The mainstream thought they had struck gold and headlines like these poured out. But apparently they were a bit too quick off the mark. Bellingcat based its findings on a photo analysis program. Its developer came down hard on Higgins, saying he'd provided the perfect example of, quote, how to not do image analysis. Germany's Der Spiegel later apologized for taking Bellingcat's report at face value, also publishing an interview with an image forensics expert that tore Bellingcat's method to shreds.
What Bellingcat is doing is nothing more than reading tea leaves. Error-level analysis is a method used by hobbyists.
RT went to find the man behind Bellingcat for his side of the story.
Elliot is not responding to his phone. I'm going to tweet him again because he already sent me a few Twitter messages and he keeps wanting me to email questions, but we want to see his operation and experience him face to face.
Right, okay, because we've got a couple of gentlemen here filming. Right, okay, so do I just say you're not here and send them off?
Is it 5 minutes? Can I speak to him?
Can he just speak to you for 5 minutes? Is that okay?
Hey, Elliot, sorry, I did... Oh, got hung up. He's in, but he doesn't want to get visitors?
Yeah, I don't think... He's not in, he's not upstairs today. He said he's out of the office.
This is Higgins' other office, apparently. I'm looking for Elliot Higgins. He has an office here.
Elliot Higgins?
Yeah.
No, we don't have Elliot Higgins here.
Hey, I'm looking for Elliot. How do you do? So this could have been Elliot's mom, and I had to tell her he does not want to speak to me, just to be on good terms. And we've done everything we could to find him. I'm sure some of his reports are good, but I wish he would not hide from us.
As for Higgins' political views, they're probably best manifested by his recent report for the Atlantic Council, a think tank that doesn't hide its ties with the U.S. government.
He's pretty much a laughingstock. He's been wrong so many times. Now, when you look at the funding of this cool cat, Bellingcat and Higgins, where is it coming from? It's coming from the Atlantic Council. It's coming from other Western sources, including the USAID, Agency for International Development. And he makes no secret of that.
Anastasia Cherkina, RT, London.